Jacob. Now, we come to Rachel. Rachel gave birth to the 12th child, which is Joseph.
Okay.
And Joseph represents fruitful vine, blessed despite affliction. You find this in Genesis 49, 22 to 26. And then Benjamin became the third child, the last child. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf, fierce warrior. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf, fierce and fearful warrior. Okay.
So let me just put this small thing here, but it's a whole big thing.
Right.
Okay. When we are going to read, we'll go into the story of Joseph in its context, but I want to make certain things very clear.
Okay.
Okay. When it came to you marrying a maid, it is not the responsibility of the husband, but the responsibility of the wives.
Oh.
The husband never marries maids.
It is the wife who would put that request forward.
Yes. So I want to clear that out of the way. It wasn't Abraham that approached the maid. It was Sarah that gave it to gave Hagar to him.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So when you are talking about Joseph, in its deepest format, the meaning of Joseph is fruitful. Okay?
Right.
It's fruitful. One thing history doesn't want you to understand is that according to all the 12 apostles inside of the Bible, the 12 disciples inside of the Bible, the 12 of everything, they always ignore the divine feminine factor.
Wow. So within every 12, there is masculine and feminine.
There is a feminine. There's a feminine. And in this particular Jacob's category, Joseph was that divine feminine.
Oh.
Joseph isn't a man. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Joseph was a woman. You understand? We'll dig deeply.
Wow. Baba, this is confusing some of us. So, I know that you touched on this during the Christ consciousness and then the Antichrist consciousness. You talked about Christ and Antichrist. You touched on this. And earlier on, we also talked a little about Abraham. You touched on this. I'm sure we will delve deeper into it.
Yeah.
There are a few things I want to find out here.
Okay.
Even though we all look at Joseph, Christ did not come from Joseph, but came from Judah. And when we read Judah's main attribute is lion. Yes, lion's whelp, leader, royal line, scepter shall not depart. Christ came from Judah. Is there any?
When you are talking about Christ, you are talking about the essence. If you are talking about the one that came on the lineage of Judah, then you are talking about Yeshua.
So let's look at Yeshua.
Okay. Yeshua is the physical representation of yourself.
Right.
So them telling you that Judah is the scepter and the scepter shall not fall, it simply meant that at the line, okay, going down the family tree,
the royal blood.
Yeah, going down the family tree, there's going to be someone coming from this particular lineage because of the attribute that has been given, or the attributes of God in the presence of what Judah represents. Okay.
As against the covenant God, also as in connection with the covenant God
that God had with everyone else.
Right.
You understand? You being a Hebrew doesn't instinctively qualify you to represent the priesthood, to represent Christ. No. You representing Christ is about you being able to understand how God speaks to you. Okay. And through all the lineages of Jacob's household, the one that understood the whispers of the Spirit was Joseph. She was the only one that could interpret the essence of what the Spirit was talking about. Okay?
Wow.
She had a gift, but that didn't represent the Christ consciousness.
Oh.
Okay. When they tell you that it's not like, oh, among your 5 children, I'm choosing your 3rd born, your 4th born to be the representation of Christ. No. God never makes a specific kind of chosen to this particular person. No. If it is like that, you will get head swelling. Whatever child that you will have, you will never love them. And you will keep waiting.
You keep an eye on one particular child.
So that when that child finally comes, the rest will end up feeling ignored. And that is not good.
Oh.
Just look at Joseph's story. Okay.
Right.
She understood life to a certain extent. And look at how the brothers were treating him.
Right. Right.
You understand?
Right.
I want us to take the time and then go deeply into Joseph's story.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why I don't want to rush into it, and then it will end up confusing the understanding.
The understanding. Okay.
Before we get to Joseph, we have to finish Jacob.
Jacob entirely.
And we haven't finished ironing Jacob.
No. So now we have talked about Jacob and the children. We are coming to look at Jacob in meeting his brother again, which is Esau. We just wanted to, let you know that when Jacob ran to his uncle, his mother's brother, to live with him, he made a lot of wealth and possession. And out of that, he had to marry. And his wives were Leah, Zilpah, Bilhah, and then Rachel. Okay? So we needed to iron all these things out before, going back to how he was able to reconcile with his brother. Because he was also chased.
How he spoke to God.
Right. How he spoke to God, exactly, before reconciling with his brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interpretation of that one coming down.
Okay. So we will take that from Genesis 32, verse 1 downwards. Jacob also went on his way, and the angels of God met him. This was after he had, trashed this issue with Nahor and his Laban. Okay, and so he was moving forward. Now Jacob saw them. He said, "This is the camp of God." So he named the place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. He instructed them, "This is what you are to say to the Lord, Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goats, male and female servants. Now I am sending this message to my Lord that I may find favor in his eyes." When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, "We went to your brother Esau, and now he is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him." In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into 2 groups, and the flocks and herds and camels as well. He thought, if Esau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. Then Jacob prayed, "Oh God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you who said to me, 'Go back to your country and your relative, and I will make you prosper.' I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown to your servant. I had only my staff when I crossed the Jordan."
This is what happens when you begin to face the reality of honesty.
When you have that self-realization.
Yeah, for the first time, he's getting the realization of the presence of God inside of his life. So he needed an honest opinion about what to do.
Right. And he knew he only had a staff.
Yes.
But now I have become 2 camps. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper, and will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. He spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams, 30 female camels and their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, and 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. Wow. He put them in the care of a servant, each head by itself, and said to his servant, "Go ahead of me and keep some space between the heads." He instructed the one in the lead, "When my brother Esau meets you and asks, 'Who do you belong to? And where are you going? And who owns all these animals in front of you?' then you are to say, 'They belong to your servant Jacob.'" They now belong to your servant, not your first brother. 18. Because I was reading the 18. "They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us." He also instructed the second and third. He also instructed the second, the third, and all the other who followed the head. "You are to say the same thing to Esau when he meets you, and be sure to say, 'Your servant Jacob is coming behind us.' For he thought, 'I will pacify him with these gifts I am sending on ahead. Later, when I see him, perhaps he will receive me.'"
Now he's a grown-up.
Right.
Okay, he doesn't care about the blessings anymore. He just wants his brother's forgiveness.
So that should tell you that no matter how well you chase wealth, at the end,
You will see
it won't bring you peace.
Yeah. You will see what is important at the end of it. It was never about the money to begin with.
But reunion, family reunion, love is the most important thing at that point to Jacob.
At that point, he understands. That it isn't about me saying, "I'm your brother" or this. No, that doesn't make sense. We are all servants of what we are. You understand?
Right.
As being a Hebrew, you've been a servant of the Lord all your life. And to forgive, is divine. Okay, to err is human, and then to forgive is divine. So he is now seeking divinity through the concept of his brother, letting go of what happened in the past. By bringing him more cattle, by bringing him more goods, more camel, in a way that it will suit him. Like, okay, what did you do?
But you see, one other thing too that, Baba, we should look at is that the first thing you said, the realization. Realizing that, no, what I did was wrong, and that I need to make peace with my brother. A lot of people are unable to forgive themselves for the things they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Why?
That is what I want to talk about when we get to the story of Jacob's ladder.
Oh.
After he received the dream.
The dream. Okay. So
because now, the realization comes when you actually see that my pimp, okay, I've gotten to the end of it, Okay, now there is nothing else.
Right.
Okay, all that it takes, I have to now surrender to God and understand. Okay, you've gotten tired, you've struggled in life, you've gone left, you've gone right, you've seen riches, you've seen wealth, you've seen all these things. But now there is something that still haunts your soul that you need to correct. And once you are open into that particular kind of suggestive state, and that is when God can visit you.
Wonderful.
That is when the dreams begins to transcend.
Right.
That is when you begin to have the visions of how to go about it. Coming online and seeing people talking about spirituality. Coming online and seeing people offering you the hand on how to heal your fear. Coming online and seeing people offering you a hand on how to go about healing your regret, how to heal your guilt, your grief. And that is exactly the road that you take.
Wow. Genesis 32. Yaka free eti baako edi besi eduanu baako. Na kafra baba echre kwanya Jacob efa aswa onya nnuhu ehu se no mafum menua Esau esese mitimi ebo me homodin se mene ne beye baako if se ye den ya ye ntafo ifre busuya baako mo sa nnuhu na Jacob nya ye no woksika epeso ma yeti ase se eyade a ehu hie pa se obetimi edi kan de wankasa obone ya che wo ho Utimi hu saade na anu na obetimi ahia Onyankopon. Na Onyankopon so aboa ma ne wo hwehwe no sabre no. On setimi aka. Efise esa se nanka Jacob edikan hwehwe ne Nyankopon ne na henye ne tene ne kane no. Odikan ko hwehwe ewiase afafade ni nyina wieye. Owie no hu se dabi. Bibi to sin e wona brabo. Saa sin to no eye odo ene asomdwe no ono ankasa na wo se wonya e wona brabo. Abibia no na mo ana onya saa susukuru ne se bia na ne nua no betimi ekune dako ade na oni ne nua te no wagye ne nua ne nhira na ne nyame ahira no na bia ne nua na ebre saa bre no no so nya hu se ne Esau etio iti ehun be hia se wankasa no wayem from so bia etwam no a wodwene abre bia se nti nyame de me bone achame nyame de me bone achame nyame de me bone be chame ana se meye den me frisate bia ni mo no de di kan a woksi kai person mount ase ne se di kan fa che wo ho di kan hunu san hunu ni se mayem from so ade am ye ne ma anye ne ye.
Yeah, immediately that you feel remorse, you are expressing failure and acceptance.
Right.
Okay, it means that you know what you did wasn't right. Okay, if there's another chance given to you, will you make amends?
Oh.
And that is what God looks for inside of people. If you don't accept that what you did was wrong, if Jacob was still hung on the fact that what I did to Esau is good, yes, yeah, he deserved that, he will never see the face of God.
Wow. Genesis 32, I'm still reading Genesis 32. This is where, we will continue. This is where Jacob met God, just as Baba said, when he was able to reconcile with himself that no, this is it. Now God is coming to show himself to Jacob.
Yes.
Genesis 32, verse 22. Then at that night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, 2 wives, 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of Jabbok. 23. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. 24. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. 26. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." And Jacob replied, "I will not let you go until you bless me."
Always, this guy.
27. The man asked him, "What is your name?" And Jacob, he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with man and with humans and have overcome."
You understand? You understand what this is about?
Right.
It's entailing the journey that he has been through.
Wow.
And then the rebirth of his own self.
Wow.
This is like him waking up out of life, ignorant of anything that is happening in and then around him. Just hitting himself among life and always going, always taking what doesn't belong to him.
Wow.
Okay, like the way they want you to understand, always wanting things, always needing things, until he got to that particular pinnacle where he understood that there is nothing that I want inside of this world. Even my name isn't valid.
My name have to be changed.
My name has to represent what I am.
Oh.
Israel isn't a place. Okay? It is the people. That is what Israel is. The Hebrews are the people of Israel. Okay? They are calling people Jews because Jews doesn't make sense. It's Jews.
Oh.
You for Ghana here, you call it Ewe.
Aywa. An Arabian will say Aywa.
You say Ewe. That is what you are.
Wow. Iti
Don't go and declare.
Baba my kids bu ha na me busao. Ye nua no ma na fo mo.
When you are
Any animal more votarage more. Moti as a more woksika ekano. Or twas and Kessipa and the brain. We patch say, ye Abraham a sifo nankasankasano. A woman. Na ye nuanuma for Voltarians, Mincanisa. Ye nuanum ewes, Mohasem noke. Mujino if it's a Subianing in our agent.
They use that to classify all of you. The king of the Jews, the king of the sheep. Sheep are ewes, ewes are ewes. That's what Jesus is, that's what Yeshua is. The king of the ewes.
Wow.
So that was when he received the premonition. And then he understood then that it wasn't about externalizing anything within, on the outside. It's about him.
It was not about setting up a country, fight with his brother.
It was never about that.
Getting possessions.
It's about knowing what peace felt like. And he hasn't felt peace since he fought with his brother.
And now he got to know himself.
He got to understood himself.
Through his name.
And for that, God gave him Israel. The ruler of the heavens and the earth. And everything that is inside will bow before you. Now the blessing has come to pass.
Wow. Baba, I will read to complete this thing so that I summarize it into three for our fellows who may not be privy to understanding what we are teaching in much detail.
Okay.
The name changed from Jacob to Israel because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome.
Yeah, you fought with yourself, you fought with other people, you fought with life. And now you've understood what it means. Henceforth, you are no longer the same person. You are no longer a caterpillar. You've just upgraded into a butterfly.
Wow. Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared."
You see, he's trying to tell you that you don't see God and then you die. You don't have to wait to die to see God.
Because Jacob saw God.
He saw God face to face and he is still alive.
Wow.
So he becomes the testimony of the rising of the Christ
consciousness in us. That if you are able to raise your consciousness, you will be able to see the God within you.
Yes, wrestling with the angel, fighting with your own adversary, overcoming your own overcoming your own regret, overcoming your own guilt. That's at what the angels are. Angels are ones that release information from the throne itself.
Wow.
Okay. Angels are messengers of information from the divine oneness all the way down to you that is existing on earth. Okay. So we are going to go to the board. Okay, this is where things get a little bit serious. Okay, we are going to break Jacob's down, him calling the place Peniel.
Right.
Okay? We are going to talk about him relating to all the 12 houses that they spoke about.
Right.
Relating to time, relating to everything as you as the Alpha and then the Omega.
The Omega.
And then everything else that comes afterwards.
Wonderful. Me monitor fa kakra e bia de baba kan ni nyina no anti ase en de woksi kakan wanti ase ni nyina no mesrew yaka de aba besi se unyanu enhu bia sa bere na wutimi hia unyankopon Jacob hia ne nyankopon na bofo a Jacob hia no one ne kun yie if you said Jacob hwan ni su a no hu se dabi we nya nipa bia keke we ye me nyankopon wotimi mu ene wada ne hu di ya kire me ti one ne preso yie ko si se na awia epie
It was almost done.
Na ehun hia so se awia beto bofo ne so to buzanza de na wo pe buzanza na wo kra fra sen e no se fra me Jacob e no se free ne en fra Jacob ye be fra Israel ehona baba e kire mu a chese e san se Jacob edi kan ehun ne mfom so a no waye na wagye ne mfom so atom nti no saa bre no na hu be yansanya obetimi ahia nyankopon mpo na ohia ne nyame edin sesaye no enyina ho ma oman o na mu megina ho ma enipakuo Israel no enye wo man ani ntenne ye won krofo bi wo ba bi a wo from nso mo ni Israel man na enye wo mo a na Israel man na nkasa ewe bibre mu haya ibi wo man Ghana mu ha ani ntine ma me kan se ye nuanom anwonafo ye ka ho asem ye ka asem a kyerɛ mo wo sika e ka asem a kyerɛ mo ase kyerɛ no iti Israel na Jacob ejina hode man Israel ni nya man na mu megina ho ma nipekuo ti mo man yemfa ya adwen mra fie ni enyi adwen free sabe nipa bi a ya bete se wo mo no mo ye eye Jews ana se wo mo no mo ye Israel man
Israel for Hebrew for mo nyina epe
ya we bibre mu haya titiriw ni enuanom anwonafo mo na kashire ni nyina no esomo
amo na mo tin maintain din no it's ever don't call it ever because it's like you putting two pieces because M is the same thing as a W.
Right.
W is the same thing as 3 is the same thing as E.
Yeah.
So the LS represents the 4 aspect cardinal points of your own self.
Right.
And they are not just talking about one distinct kind of group of Hebrews. They are talking about the people that were able to retain much of the information that came from ancestry. Okay, if you look at this world, the people in this world that don't take nonsense very lightly is the Ewe people.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so they don't care about you and then your religion. The fact that they are right, you are in trouble. Okay? The fact that they are right, it doesn't mind where you go, where you do. They are always powerful than you.
Because they still have the
They
genes.
understand the power that exists within their own self.
Right.
Okay?
And Baba Jacob as a son a honidin, baby on name before no a person, as a son a honidin, a to a din pineal. Now a din pineal, and so age na home nipa. A dear be a winipemo. The Baba say, or Bano Wababe, Shrehing. A dino, dainty or two dino, and a quire, sad yening in a chere, a patre. Iti Yabeko board, so. Na Baba. Atreyen afi ne eba be kusua de ankasa ti misra nko ba bia like na share efama adofo no mu hu se nkyerɛkyerɛ na ye wa ha sei no yenya yimu na mu ye kana asɛm no sɛne ɛsɛ ne sɛne fata.
Jacob said he met God in a place called Peniel. Okay, so we are coming to talk about me telling you that you condense from light into matter. We are coming to look at the condensation of the processes that your soul passes through in order for you to exist in this physical form. That is exactly what we are coming to talk about. Because if you are going to talk about pineal gland, you need to understand the 12th aspect part of yourself, like the 12 houses of Israel, like your 12-hour clock, like the Alpha and the Omega that I've made countless videos about. You need to understand it in that particular order in order for you to gain the awareness that you are understanding. Okay? Before you're able to know what Jacob is talking about, you first of all need to get the realization of the power that resides within your pineal gland and why it is very important. Okay? So as the beginning form of yourself, okay, this is you as what the Christ consciousness is. This is the sun. Okay? This is the sun. The sun is the highest form of energy, and all of you inside of this world are seeds. I made it very clear in my previous videos that about what seeds are, about what the Christ in you is. Okay? If you haven't watched that, go and watch it. And then from this particular sun that you see, you started condensing down. Okay? You started condensing down. And then the first form that you took is the crown. Okay? From light, you descended down into the crown. The crown is the first one of your first condensation form. If you haven't watched the interview that I did with Nyansa, I made it very clear that with you in the middle, these are your legs and these are your hands. This is your electromagnetic field. And then from here comes January. Okay? From here comes January. And then from down here comes February. Because here is still when you are still at the spirit essence. Okay, when you are still in spirit, that is what February is. February is the only month with 28 days. 28 is ones and then zeros. Ones and zero is the spirit form of what the Alpha and then the Omega represent. Out of the darkness of this particular place, as the spirit, came the light. Okay, that is how it is. Came the light. The light is January. That is why you celebrate it New Year. I made this explanation very simple. I told you the way the months come. It doesn't work January, February, March, April, May, June in particular order. It is the vibration of your left side, the vibration of your right side that combines. When here is February, here becomes January. When here becomes January, here becomes February. And then you descended down to your crown chakra. Okay? From light, you then, the condensation of the downward begins with your first chakra. Okay? Now, when you talk about what chakras are, they are the pieces of the soul. This is the soul. That is the name of the sun. The name of the sun is soul. Soul is soul. Okay? Soul is soul. The palms, okay, your hands are called souls. The souls of your palms. Okay? Your feet are called souls. The souls of your feet. That's why I told you that it is electric and then magnetic. It is always the ups and then the downs. That is exactly how creation happens. Okay? So when it comes to this interpretation, the first form that you took, okay, is your palms. That is your physical representation, which is your crown. Okay? When you raise up your hands on, this becomes the top. Okay? When you raise them up, this becomes the top. That is the first form of your physical self that is matching the first form of your feet. The as above, so below. The triangle facing downwards and the triangle facing upwards. Do you understand this simple thing? Okay. So you dance down into your first form, which is your crown, your hair. Your etheric essence is telling you about the number or how the entire collective consciousness of what you call the multiverse looks like. Okay? The multiverse is the form of reflection of your head. That is your connection back to the spirit itself. The gateway back home. I explained this a lot of times. Okay? So when this particular consciousness of the sun condensed down, okay, it broke itself into pieces. The sun is the origin of everything that you call color. Okay? Every form of color comes from the sun. And primarily, they told you in this particular world, the colors that exist there are 7. There are 7 primary colors. So these particular colors came from the sun and they are in resonance, or there's the same representation of what your chakras are. Okay? So let me doctor explain this in the tree, and then we'll go back and look into the chakras.
Intinia, ya kanina no enye different from Jacob. Asem no, aye Jacob. One sem ne kwan Jacob ne Nyankopon edi impunimpu no. Difference be enim. Na emu no, esan se Jacob ehia Nyankopon. Na Nyankopon han no eto Jacob so. Na Jacob nso ehunu ne pepete bia na owo mu nti no. E wo se yetimi kire wase ye kwan a Jacob ebe ye kronkron ewo nyame anim. Ene kwan a ofiri ni January mu, ni February mu, ekọ ni January mu. February ni gina ho edema awia na ewo fom no, ye black sun no. Ena saa ho onam saa hoden ni so adura ni January mu, which is ne hanti bie mo. Nti Jacob ani Nyankopon di mpu a asechire no ye ba be kire mu amana akọ ekire yie pa. Na baba e pa kire se ye bebubu mu amana ka eye chakras no. Nti me sai bre no mema baba sai teki ni biem na fe wa kire yen chakras ni mu de gina ho edema atwede na Jacob ehunu se na bofo no esane efiri esoro de abafom na bi nsu sane free efom de akosoro no enu gina ho ma February no eni January na baba e draw board ni so no e de amaye no ti baba please continue.
Okay. Jacob made mention of a particular place that he met God, and that the name of the place is Peniel. Okay, it's Peniel. That's the name that Jacob gave it to it. That the name of the place is Peniel, for he has met God face to face. Now we are coming to understand in depth, what does this Peniel actually mean? And I made it very clear when I was talking to you about the representation of the Alpha and then the Omega, the beginning and then the end part of what you are. Okay? Now, if you talk about the Peniel, you are talking about what we term as the Christ consciousness. Okay? The Christ consciousness is the distributor, the sole informant of a way that you connect this particular consciousness to the one divine self of what God is. Okay? God only speaks to you through Christ. Christ is the part of yourself that exists in the middle of every equation. And I made it very clear that when it comes to the 12 cycles of your time frame, the middle part of it is the seconds, the minutes, and then the hours. That is what Christ consciousness is. It is through the middle part of yourself that the distribution of information, whether it is 1 p.m., whether it is 2 p.m., whether it is 4 p.m., comes to pass. So Jacob is trying to tell you the family of his entire lineage, about him giving birth to 12 children, the reflection of it inside of you represents what time is. It is telling you the various aspect part of yourself that still combines yourself to form the whole. It is the whole that is what Christ consciousness is.
The Baba Epache and say Jacob baby a oni Nyankopon di mpunimpo ne bofo ne di mpunimpo bofo no e kire ne say wasesa ne din in Israel no oto hodi Peniel eno na wo eye board ne so no na saa Peniel no afei na wo ba be kire mu akwakire kwan a edin Peniel no gina ho de ma na Peniel no gina ho ma Alpha any Omega a eye ahyase ne awieye saa ahyase ne awieye no gina ho ma nyamisu a nipa etewo mu na Peniel no ejina ho ma Christ consciousness na saa Christ no eno so na nyame pese one wonam eno so na odefa na wetimi ehunu ni yie nti se wonni Kristo ana wonni saa Christ consciousness na ebeye din se wo behunu Awurade eni nti Christ consciousness no eno ni ade a ehia Christ ne ni ade a ehia papa se nipa ubehunu na kwamwa ubehunu na kwan ubehunu kwan obefa so a ubetimi enya because ete wo mu dada enya ade afei na eba betina wo ewo mu na wo na ebia unhunu na chi akwan ti no unhunu kwan a obefa so a ode be den ode be kenya no ametimi aboa amwahunu wo Nyankopon a ete wo mu
yes
no bi bebusa say Christ no eno ni Kristo ana eya de kro na se ne Kristo ba ye obekire ye ja ne kwan no sa na Christ consciousness no enso gina ho ede ma nipa ade bia ewo wo mu a eye Nyankopon ede fa so ede ye den ede ma wo de hunu no ani nti ye wo Jesus sa Jesus no eye equal to eye Yeshua ye wo Yesu Kristo nti Yesu no ene Yeshua no Yeshua ni nyina ya de kro
nti ye ka ke Kristo a they are talking about these two.
Sa ye ka se nipadua Kristo na oba asase so na ne din ye Yeshua ne dia ono a ne din di Jesus no na eye saafo no eye Yeshua no no a ne leadi yen into sa in Christ consciousness no na sa Christ consciousness no aboa ma wetimi ehunu Nyankopon wa ye den etewo mu nti ba bia baba a kire mu adu no ase kire no
So when you look at what Christ is the light of the world. The light of the world is Christ. The light in me, the hope of glory. The light outside of this world, or the light of this world, is what you call the sun. Okay? The sun represents the light of this world. Okay? The name of the sun is soul. I made it very clear on the other videos that I posted. The name of the sun is soul. So everything is always in resonance with your soul, because I told you the one thing that the Christ inside of you represents what you call the soul. Okay, Christ is the soul. Okay? They are spelled differently, but their meaning is the same thing. Now, when it comes to you human beings, every single one of you has soles of your feet. You have souls within your palms. And I made it very clear with the explanation that I had the interview with Nyansa, that you as a person like this, okay, you descended down, and descending down you pick legs and then you have hands. You understand? So when it comes to the end of the year is February. I made it very clear that February is a spirit month. It carries 28 days because out of the darkness came light. Out of this particular darkness down here, okay, came light of January. That is why you celebrate January as New Year. I made it very clear, this is your electromagnetic field. Your electromagnetic field is the spirit essence that covers the body of what the condensed form of what God is. So this is light. That is why you cannot see it. And the physical condensed form of what this light is your body. Do you understand what I'm saying? So out of this particular darkness, which is February, you came out as light of the world, which is January. Okay, and I told you creation doesn't just happen March, June, July, August, September. That's not how it is. It is always left, it is always right. Electric, magnetic. The way it vibrates like this to February, January, and vibrate this way to February. February is vibrating to January, January is vibrating to February. God is speaking to this, and this one is speaking to this. Okay, this is what people call the black sun. Okay. This is what people call the black sun. Okay. Not completely out of the darkness, but the energy of the darkness itself. And it is the reflected form of that particular darkness is what you see as the sun on top. It is not the sun on top there is fake. Or the sun on top there is a projection. The sun is as real as anything inside of this world. Do you understand? But the energy that the sun emits is the energy that the top sun of you emits. That is why it speaks to this particular thing in frequencies. Okay? That is the same representation when you put yourself in the middle. That is you. You are the channel through which the heavens talks to the earth and the earth talks to the heaven. You are the middle. The middle here is what represents Christ consciousness. Do you understand? Okay. So let's go back to the sun. Okay. January, February, January, and then you dance down from the spirit. You dance down into picking a physical body. The first physical body that you picked was your crown. Your crown is your etheric essence. Your etheric essence is your hair. When you look at how your brain is arranged, it's arranged like this, like hair. That is the condensed form of what ether energy is. The physical representation of it is what you call the hair. It's hair, the divine feminine of creation. You are the heir to the throne. You are the heir. You are the head. You are the crown. So you started going from light into matter, into physical condensed form. Do you understand this? Doctor will explain that. Then we'll go back to telling you how you danced. Okay, from here, from February to January, when you started picking your physical form, what this month is called as is in relation with your feet, because this place represents your feet and your feet represents your crown.
Okay. Baba eka assembly wa ha na woksika wonim se ne church na ya edrum rebi a ehun behia se wo be tie ne ba ko mienu ansa na wate ase ba me be bone tofa na wanya mu nkyeremu kedi kan aka de se Yeshua no ejina ho ma Kristo yedi kan so aka se enam Yeshua no eso ema ye behunu ye Kristo so a tie mu na enam sa Kristo so ne so ena be mo hunu onyankopon. Now, sa Kristo na ti wo mu no. Ukọ ye wiase mu a. Eno ne ewia no. Na ewia no ye ka no soul. Ana se sun. Eba no ye calendar mu a ye wo bosomi bi wa friend soul, the soul man. But uhwe mu a ejina ho ma ewia. Ewia ne nso so ejina ho e de ma wo kra. Efi se ewia ne jina ho e wa asase so e de ma Kristo eye han no efise nipa free han mu e na opie free adi nipa free esum e na ofree opie free han mu adi free adi ti sabode free esum mu e na han ma ni nyina epie adi dia e ne na wo free wo han ho e na wo ba wasase so nti sa oye ohan na wo ye nyame na wo nyame su na nyame home gu wo mu no eye ono ankasa ni su ntino wo wo nyame su mu de baba ana wo sika epese oma ye ti ase no no iti wo firi wo han su mu no sa han no ho na ye ahenwa na eti wo mu no nyankopon ahenie na Kristo kan wasem se you nyankopon ahenie na ti ye mu no sa ahenie no ne na konwa no esi wuti so eni nti wapempem eni nti sa wohwe wutirinwi a wutirinwi no aye ne ho mankyere monkyere bonka bi ne nyina edi gina ho ema ita nso yade a yemfa yeni hu ade a yemfa yeni hu no egina ho nso ede ma o hanti bie mu a wo ye den wo efise yemfa yeni hu nyankopon eni nti esa na wo hanti bie mu nti untimi fa sa hanti bia no emma asase so iti na hu behia se wankasa no wo be creative force de ama wo hanti bie mu a wo soro ene wo hanti bie mu a wo fom de wo fom no ene ye friend black sun no a ene wo ba ewiase mu a han na ewia na ye tuntum no na sa ewia na ye tuntum no ene ewia na wo soro no ye wo crown no nso ye bi animu ni nyina no egina ahoden ba akoso ene de ye adwuma de ye tuntum no reflect de wo soro no na de wo soro no so reflect ewia na wo fom no ani nti na baba edi kan ye image na o kire se wo nipa no wo mfinfin na mfinfin na wo no na wo ye the neutral wo na wo ye sa Christ consciousness no iti wo nipa sum na waba no esan se na wo hanti bie mu na wontimi ntena hanti bie ne mu fa ma asase so nti no na wo se wo ankasa wo te wa hoden so ahoden no any wo electromagnetic field no ewia na wo form na eye black sun no e de na hoden ma esoro no ye wie ya de ye huni na eno nso so ewia na wo soro no nso asan de ahoden no ama de wo fom no na ni nyina no e de pepeye ene by the balance ene ba na sa balance ni be wie peye a ehun behia se wo ankasa na wo ye nipadua no a wo gina mfinfin no nso be ye balance se wa anya balance a ahoden na wo soro a eba wo fom no ene ne efiri wo fom no e kwa wo soro no enya ade a ni nyina betimi ama wo Kristo su na sese woda ne di wasase so ema nipa nyina ehunu no nya de e be ma watimi ate o Kristo so ase ema unhu nyame so awo eni nti yemfa Christ enya mfato Kristo no ye nyame ofiri ne hanti biem ebe ye honam
Jesus
sa ebe ye Jesus Christ no eye ne consciousness na wo de breye no eno ni han no de breye no enam sa han ne so ema Yeshua ekire ye nkwanya ye befa so a ye beye pepe e wo nyankopon wani sa wo beye pepe ene se wo han na e wo soro no anu nti no de ba ni peti biem beye Yeshua no o de beye Yeshua no na wo se onam sa kwan na so de kire ye na wotimi di ni nipadua so nkonim na wotimi asa afro asa akone han ti biem eni nti no wu ye ne na asa so ye den osori ye no
eno na ye Jacob a o kan wo Bible
sa eno ni Jacob a